So this little story of mine, is a work in progress. So please, do enjoy the reading. And here we go. Year 1392. Date September 16th. Time 2:47. Location satellite X-8Y73. Status orbiting Phobos. So here I lay, dying. You know, if you're reading this, or watching, whatever, then this goes out to all my team, my friends, my family, my wife, Zoe, and my two little ones on Earth, Zach and Kiara. Especially you, PJ, and everyone else on this godforsaken mission. Give them hell. And tell my family, tell them I love them. Tonight this war ends. Today the Martian reign will cease from existence. Log 925. Terminate records. Self-destruct. 3, 2, 1, 0. So long, planet Earth. That was the start of where I am now. I'm actually not on the satellite. I'm actually on Mars. But if you want to know how all this began with a bang, then so be it. But be careful what you wish for. You might end up on the wrong side. I'm Damien Jacob Kager, or Carnage. This was the Rebirth. So, 3084, March 5th, 6 minutes past 1 in the afternoon. Got a foxtrot and a whiskey. The first we'd ever heard about the Martian Rebirth was that a new so-called prophet had resurrected the original Martians by traveling through a wormhole to the future, where a cure was developed to save any life form, or even any species for this matter, without any side effects. By doing so successfully, this new prophet, who calls himself Dawn, had put the Martian fleet and the entire species back on the track with new, more up-to-date material. Eliminate all who oppose the Martian reign, and any others who dare cross our sacred homeland. Unfortunately for us, that was the only thing we did wrong. We paid with our lives. Shuttle FNW, or Foxtrot and a Whiskey, as I said. That was ours. We all stood aboard the command deck, waiting for the chief to give us the briefing. The room was quite big for a shuttle, but shuttles these days were much larger than 1,000 years ago. The room was the circular type, green tinted with a blackened base. The hollow feed was in the front center of the room. Just in front of the window, 2 doors, one on the left and the right. There were extra control panels scattered around the ship, as if there hadn't been much thought given into this. There was a doorway just on the other end of the room, leading into 3 more rooms exactly the same, but each with a different hollow feed. One for the mission briefing, another for the team members engaging on the field and behind the scenes, another for the strategy and planning of the mission, and another for anything else that needed to be clear or that was necessary to explain, as long as it wasn't part of what had already been explained, but still being in some way related to the mission itself at hand. Gentlemen, may I have your attention? The commander of this quadrant of the exterior Martian field has given us one simple task. We infiltrate the support stations to cut off communications to both sides, might I say. Then we are to proceed in transporting the team in pairs to infiltrate the main Martian defense cruiser. This will take a long time, but this needs to happen multiple times for multiple targets. Good luck. This was the Chief's briefing. Chief, what are we going to do once we get inside the support stations? On the way to actually disabling the communications. Do you know? I briefly inquired. I only know what I know. And what I know is exactly what I have already stated, and nothing more, Chief Jameson replied. You must know at least who the Pers are, correct? PJ asked. Yes, of course, PJ. If you'll all care to follow me, the Chief responded, having realized he actually knew more, because he always does. But what can I say? He's old. PJ, you're with Damien. Carter, you're with Jeremiah. Curtis, you're with Finley, Andreas, Brett, and Ricky, and with Michael. And the strategy for this nigh impossible mission is what, boss? Brett nodded chiefly, sly smirk. I'd appreciate the word pleasing there, but apparently not. In any case, the strategy is this. We'll wait as long as it takes for the commotion to clear up first. Then we'll send the shuttle over and prepare for transmat into the control platform. From there, we'll eliminate any and all reinforcements. Then, disable the communications and transmat once more onto the main defensive computer. The rest is up to you. Any more for any more? No sir, Brett responded. Yeah, 3084. Date, March 11th. Time, 1538. Location, Shuttle Foxtrot 9 Whiskey. Status, traveling to Martian exterior outpost. So only 6 short days later, we just breached into exterior Martian borders. We would soon discover whether or not we were going to make it to the outpost with our lives or not. I sat inside my cabin with PJ, who had been surprisingly more active now than he'd ever previously been before. The faint green backup energy was not as bright as it would have normally been. It was originally composed of ultraviolet light, but that luckily was the prototype satellite. We still had our own light sources, torches and other sorts, but it was enough, thankfully. The actual cabin was Martian orange, and as well as that, NASA had been generous enough to allow astronauts and space marines, etc., etc., to have their own cabins personalized to make them feel more comfortable and at home, even if they were in the middle of the solar system. The same went for the ship. Martian orange and the iconic red, white, and blue for the glorious fucking America. Well, somebody had to do it. You can't have a personalized spacecraft from NASA without having the resemblance or something similar to that of the American flag. There's only one word for that. Freedom! In any case, my cabin had 2 large bunk beds. One for me, the other for PJ. The bunk beds weren't actually bunk beds at all. You see, 1,000 years ago, a standard bunk bed would just be 2 bunk beds. One underneath the other, and the ladder, of course. But one of my great-grand-nephews had a bunk bed which was a bed at the top, and a desk at the bottom, with a wardrobe and a storage unit underneath. And by a storage unit, I do just mean empty space. That was used exactly for that one simple purpose. Space! What more can a man like me need? Well, it turned out a lot more, because everything was about to go to hell, in a big way. A Martian-sized father ship way to hell it was about to go. So how are you feeling about this, PJ? On the tune? Oh, you know. Oh, I can't wait to be on the surface of Mars. Woo boy! PJ answered ecstatically. Well, okay then. Hey, come on, man, what's up? Damien, tell me. You see, I never had the stomach for aliens of any sort. Not because of probing or any stupid shit like that, but because they were so much of the opposite from what we were. I have absolutely no idea what's gonna happen when we get on that ship. Jesus Christ, PJ, I'm scared of my wits' end. This is ridiculous. Ah, well, don't worry. Hey, think of it this way. Our parents always said they're just as scared of us as we are of them. Yeah, well, when you put it that way, I guess that makes the burden easier to bear. So we carried on, passing through the exterior Martian field, hitting the occasional asteroid or two. They were very small, though, so they couldn't harm us, nowhere near as much as the Martians could. Every time it would happen, the shuttle would lose power for about a few seconds, then continue on its merry journey until the point of no return. We were already passing the debris field, where we call the MJY. That's an acronym for the Martian Junkyard, if you couldn't tell. Yeah, there were so many before us. So many soldiers who tried to do the impossible, stop an enemy who already knows how the future must end, to ensure the survival of their own species. There were more than 17 previous teams, more than 4 command cruisers, and more than 600,000 space marines, who all lost their lives to the galactic civil war. Well, not really, but still. Before long, it wouldn't have been much easier for the rest of the system to defend against the Martians. Huh. Especially Pluto. Yeah, Pluto does have life, but that's a whole other story for a whole other lifetime. Year 3084. Date December 25th. Time exactly 6 o'clock. Location Shuttle Foxtrot Niner Whiskey. Status docked at Martian exterior outpost. Well, I hope that all this traveling to the outpost was to end at the end of the year, and so it did. Merry Christmas, everybody. We found the outpost on Christmas Eve, but we had to spend a day managing communication with the outpost until we were given the clear to go ahead with the mission. Well, we had it myself. But you see, nothing new comes without its kinks. Nowadays, the outpost would be as spacious as 100,000 mansions worth about $180 trillion. But that's all due to the technology required, not only to have the outpost manufactured, but also to help sustain it enough and have it well equipped enough to deal with the vacuum of space and space in general. As well as the Martians, of course. I'll spare the details for now. So there we were, docked by the outpost. It took a lot. Like an exponential amount of teamwork to have this mission prepared. This is where it began. We had no luggage on the ship because the ship was only meant to carry passengers or soldiers or anyone of any sort. So the luggage would have to be carried via a cargo shuttle. But the outpost itself was as I described. Simply and completely 100% undeniably magnificent. Even if I do say so myself. I'd love it so much if I could tell you all and everything about this thing. But I can't, because I'm a space marine. A special type of space marine, anyway. And space marines and anyone of any sort, like myself, don't count as tourists. Oh wow. Holy hell, Damien. Oh, this is it! PJ shouted exuberantly. Damn right it is. Can't wait to get to my new quarters. I hear they're better than even the best royal quarters on Earth. Now, that is out of this world, literally, I mentioned back. Well, let's not waste any time, Damien. So we made our way back to the new quarters, and boy, were we all astounded. The only sections of the outpost I could really tell you about are the quarters, the armory, the docking bay, cafeteria, briefing complex, and the prison block. I'll go on about whatever section when we come to that point. I've already been through them all, don't worry. There are certain parts that might make absolutely no sense, but so what? It's the future! Nothing these days does make sense anymore. Trust me, it's insanity. We're all in the middle of space, with killer Martians probably trying to track me down. Right this instant, as I'm stuck on their homeworld. Well, I guess there's no turning back now. Well, who might it? It never really was any turning back. Okay, so the quarters weren't exactly that much more impressive from the best world quarters on Earth, but hey, it was still impressive. It wasn't just the size of 10 or 100 or 1,000 pods, but as big as a 3-floor house. Including a ground floor, so technically 4 floors. Fully customizable with the suggestions taken by NASA from each and every astronaut. I technically had my own space dome. So the first floor was only a small room with 2 flights of stairs and an elevator. The left flight of stairs leading downstairs and the right leading upstairs. The elevator leading to wherever the hell I needed or wanted to go. Pretty convenient, right? So the only question was, where do I go first?